Imagine you are sitting in a quiet place, away from all the noise, the endless notifications, the constant rush of life. For the first time in a long time, you pause. You close your eyes. You take a deep breath in and out. At this moment, nothing else exists. Just you, your breath, and the stillness around you. Can you feel the weight of the world slowly lifting off your shoulders? Now, think about your daily life. How often do you feel truly present? How often do you find yourself lost in worries about the future or regrets from the past? Do you ever wish you could slow down your thoughts, silence the stress, and just be in the moment? Let's say you're drinking a cup of tea. If your mind is elsewhere, thinking about work, scrolling through your phone, or stressing over something, you might not even taste it. But when you bring mindfulness into that moment, everything changes. You feel the warmth of the cup in your hands, you notice the aroma, and as you take a sip, you truly experience it. This is the power of mindfulness. It turns ordinary moments into something rich, something real. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, your space for learning, growing, and finding peace in the present moment. Before we begin, I have one request. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. If you find value in this video, please take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps us grow and bring more content like this to you. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters here. Mindfulness is not just a trend or a relaxation technique. It's an ancient practice deeply rooted in Buddhism, a path that has guided countless people toward peace and clarity. It teaches us to embrace life as it is, without getting caught up in distractions or judgments. Through mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without reacting impulsively. In this journey, you'll discover how to train your mind, find stillness in chaos, and unlock a deeper sense of awareness. Whether you're a complete beginner or someone looking to refine your practice, this series will guide you step by step. From understanding the basics of mindfulness to applying it in daily life, you will experience firsthand how it can transform the way you think, feel, and live. Today, we live in a world full of distractions. Our minds are constantly pulled in different directions: emails, social media, responsibilities, and endless to-do lists. This constant mental noise can make us feel exhausted, anxious, and overwhelmed. But what if you had the power to change that? What if you could train your mind to find peace, no matter what's happening around you? Buddhism has long emphasized the importance of being present. The Buddha himself taught that suffering arises when we cling to the past or chase after the future. Mindfulness is the key to breaking this cycle. It helps us step out of autopilot mode and truly experience each moment as it unfolds. As we progress, we'll explore mindfulness techniques that monks have practiced for centuries. You'll learn how to use your breath as an anchor, how to observe thoughts without judgment, and how to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. These are not just ideas, but practical tools that can change your life when applied consistently. So, before we move forward, take a deep breath. Let go of any expectations. Allow yourself to be fully here, in this moment. This journey is not about achieving a perfect state of mind, but about learning to be present, one breath at a time. Are you ready? Let's begin. The roots of mindfulness in Buddhism. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the air entering your body, feel it leaving. Notice this simple act, this rhythm of life. It is always there, yet how often do we truly pay attention to it? This is the beginning of mindfulness. This is where awareness starts. Mindfulness is not new. It is not something created in the modern world to help with stress or to improve focus. It is ancient. It is deep. It has been guiding people for thousands of years. And at its heart, it is woven into the teachings of the Buddha himself. Long ago, in a quiet grove beneath the shade of a great tree, Siddhartha Gautama, the one we now call the Buddha, sat in deep meditation. He was not searching for wealth. He was not seeking power. He wanted to understand the truth of life. He wanted to know why people suffer and how they could find peace. And in his stillness, in his silence, he saw clearly. Suffering comes from the way we live, from the way our minds wander, grasp, and resist. He realized something profound. The mind is like a restless monkey, jumping from one branch to another, never staying still. One moment, it is in the past, replaying old memories. The next moment, it is in the future, worrying about things that have not even happened. But when the mind settles, when it rests in the present, something changes. There is peace. There is clarity. There is freedom. This is where mindfulness begins. It is the simple practice of being here, now, not lost in thoughts of yesterday, not chasing after tomorrow, but fully awake in this moment. And this is what the Buddha taught, not as a belief, not as a theory, but as a practice, something to experience for oneself. The Buddha shared a path, a way to train the mind to be present. He called it the Eightfold Path, a guide to living with wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. And at the heart of this path was something called sati, the ancient word for mindfulness. It meant remembering to be aware, remembering to wake up to life as it is. Think of it like walking through a forest. If you are lost in thought, distracted by worries, you may not even see the beauty around you. But if you walk with awareness, every step is alive. You notice the sound of leaves underfoot, the scent of the earth after rain, the cool breeze on your skin. Life is no longer something happening in the background. It becomes vivid, real. This is mindfulness. This is the practice the Buddha taught. He once told his followers, "Do not believe what I say just because I say it. Test it. See for yourself." Mindfulness is not about blind faith. It is about seeing clearly, about experiencing directly. When you bring awareness to your breath, to your steps, to the food you eat, to the words you speak, you begin to wake up. You begin to understand life in a new way. Many people think mindfulness means emptying the mind, stopping all thoughts. But this is not true. The Buddha did not teach people to fight their thoughts. He taught them to observe, to watch their thoughts like clouds passing in the sky, without getting caught in them, to notice when the mind drifts and gently bring it back. Over and over again. This is why Buddhist monks practice meditation every day. They sit, they breathe, they watch. Not to escape life, but to enter it more fully. They do not reject thoughts or emotions. They simply learn to see them clearly, without being controlled by them. A thought comes, a thought goes, like a leaf floating down a river. They do not chase it, they do not push it away. They just observe. And here is the secret. When you start practicing mindfulness, even in small ways, something shifts. You begin to see that you are not your thoughts. You are not your worries. You are something deeper, something more peaceful. The thoughts still come, but they no longer pull you in like they used to. The emotions still rise, but they do not control you. There is space. There is calm. But mindfulness is not only for monks. It is for everyone. It is for the mother holding her child. It is for the worker typing on a keyboard. It is for the student reading a book. It is for you, right now, listening to these words. The Buddha did not teach mindfulness as something separate from life. He taught it as a way of living. Even in his time, more than 2,500 years ago, people were busy. They had families, work, responsibilities. But he showed them a different way, a way to live with more presence, more peace, a way to walk through life awake, instead of sleepwalking through it. And so, we begin here, with a single breath, with a single step. We begin by noticing this moment, fully, as it is. Mindfulness is not about perfection. It is not about forcing the mind to be still. It is about coming back, again and again, to the present. So take a breath. Feel it enter, feel it leave. This is mindfulness. This is the path. And it is always available to you, in every moment, in every breath, in every step. Understanding the present moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in and out. Right now, in this very moment, there is no past, no future, only this breath. Can you feel it? The gentle rise and fall. The sensation of air moving in and out. This is where life is happening. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. Yet, most of the time, our minds are not here. They are busy running to the past, replaying old memories, mistakes, or regrets. Or they rush forward, chasing after the future, planning, worrying, expecting. But in doing so, we miss what is right in front of us. We miss the beauty of this moment. Imagine you are walking down a quiet path in nature. The sun is warm on your skin, the breeze is soft, the sound of leaves rustling fills the air. But your mind is elsewhere, thinking about something that happened last week or something that might happen tomorrow. You walk, but you do not see. You hear, but you do not listen. The moment is here, but you are not. This is how we live most of our lives, lost in thought, disconnected from the present. But what if, just for a moment, you stopped? What if you truly felt the warmth of the sun? What if you listened to the wind, the birds, the distant hum of life? What if you allowed yourself to fully be where you are? The present moment is simple. It is always here, always waiting. But we have forgotten how to enter it. The mind keeps running, jumping from thought to thought, never resting. It tells us, I'll be happy when, or things were better before. But happiness is not in the past. It is not in the future. It is only ever found now. Right now, you are breathing. Right now, you are alive. This moment does not need to be special. It does not need to be exciting. It simply is. And that is enough. A great Zen master once said, when walking, walk. When eating, eat. Such simple words. Yet how often do we do just that? When we eat, we scroll through our phones. When we walk, we think about our problems. When we sit, we wait for the next thing to do. But mindfulness is not about waiting for the next moment. It is about fully living this one. Try this. Take a single breath, and for that one breath, be completely present. Feel the air enter your nose, fill your lungs, and then gently leave your body. For that one breath, you are not your past. You are not your worries. You are only this inhale, this exhale. Life is happening now. It is not in the story you tell yourself. It is not in the thoughts that come and go. It is in the softness of the wind, the warmth of your hands, the quiet space between each sound. It is in the way your body feels when you stretch, in the taste of the food you eat, in the laughter you share with a friend. But we forget. We rush through life, always looking ahead, always waiting for something else. We say, I'll relax when this is done. I'll be happy when I have this. I'll be at peace when I fix that. But peace is not found later. It is not something you must chase. It is already here. A monk once asked his teacher, how can I find enlightenment? The teacher smiled and asked, can you hear the sound of the mountain stream? The monk listened. At first, he could hear nothing. But then, in the distance, he noticed it, the faint sound of water flowing over rocks. Yes, he said, I hear it. The teacher nodded. Enter there. The stream was always there. The sound was always flowing. The monk just needed to be still enough to hear it. This is the way of mindfulness. The present moment is always here. It is always calling. We just need to listen. When you drink water, feel it touch your lips. When you wash your hands, notice the sensation of the water, the way it runs over your skin. When you wake up in the morning, before reaching for your phone, take a breath. Feel the weight of your body, the softness of your pillow, the coolness of the air. These small moments are life itself. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to do. This moment is complete as it is. And so are you. Breath is an anchor. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a slow breath in. Feel the air filling your lungs. Now exhale, letting go of any tension. Do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Right now, in this very moment, nothing else exists except your breath. The breath is always here. It never leaves you, never betrays you. From the moment you were born, it has been with you. Silent, steady, constant. No matter where you are, no matter what is happening in your life, your breath is always present. It is the one thing that connects your body, your mind, and your spirit. But how often do we notice it? Most of the time, our breath is something we take for granted. We rush through our days, caught up in thoughts, stress, and distractions. Our breathing becomes shallow, tight, almost forgotten. We do not realize that within our very breath lies the key to peace, clarity, and stillness. In Buddhism, the breath is sacred. It is more than just air moving in and out of the body. It is the bridge between the external world and the internal world. The Buddha himself taught that by observing the breath, we can learn to observe the mind. The way we breathe reflects the way we live. A restless mind creates restless breathing. A calm mind creates deep, steady breaths. When you bring your attention to your breath, something begins to change. Your mind, which is usually running in all directions, starts to slow down. Your thoughts, which are often scattered and chaotic, begin to settle. You are no longer lost in the past or worrying about the future. You are simply here, breathing, alive, present. Try this. Place your hand on your belly. Take a deep breath in and feel your belly rise. Exhale slowly and feel it fall. Keep breathing like this, naturally, without force. Notice the sensation of air moving through your nose. Feel the gentle expansion and contraction of your body. Let your breath guide you into the present moment. If your mind starts to wander, that is okay. It is natural. The mind loves to chase thoughts, just like a puppy chasing butterflies. But every time you notice your mind drifting away, gently bring it back to your breath. This simple act, returning to the breath, is mindfulness in action. It is a practice, a training of the mind. In the Buddhist tradition, monks spend years mastering the art of breathing. They do not breathe just to stay alive. They breathe to awaken. With each inhale, they cultivate awareness. With each exhale, they let go of distractions. Over time, their breath becomes a source of deep wisdom, a teacher in itself. You do not need to be a monk to experience this. You do not need to live in a monastery or spend hours in meditation. All you need is a moment, a single moment, to stop, breathe, and pay attention. Right now, in this moment, you can begin. The beauty of the breath is that it is always available to you. It does not matter where you are. You could be sitting at your desk, walking in a crowded street, or lying in bed at night. No matter the situation, you can always return to your breath. It is your anchor, your refuge, your home. When you are anxious, observe your breath. Notice how it becomes short and shallow, as if your body is bracing for danger. Do not fight it. Do not judge it. Simply notice it, and then begin to slow it down. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Let your breath remind you that you are safe, that you are here, that you are in control. When you are angry, observe your breath. Feel how it becomes hot, fast, unsteady. Instead of reacting to your anger, turn to your breath. Let it cool you, slow you, soften you. Take one mindful breath, then another. With each breath, the fire of anger begins to fade. When you are lost in thoughts, overwhelmed by worries, return to your breath. Feel its rhythm, its movement. Let it bring you back, like a gentle wave pulling you to shore. No thought is stronger than the breath. No worry is greater than this present moment. Over time, as you continue to practice, you will notice a shift. Your breath will no longer be just a function of survival. It will become your guide, your teacher, your friend. You will begin to trust it, to rely on it. You will find that in the simple act of breathing, there is peace. So take one more deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. Now exhale, releasing everything that does not serve you. This is your practice. This is your moment. The breath is here. The breath is now. The breath is life itself. Letting go of attachments. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe in and out. Now, ask yourself, what are you holding on to? A memory? A person? A desire? We all carry something. We cling to ideas, relationships, expectations, material things. And yet, the tighter we hold on, the more they seem to slip away. This is the nature of life. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. But still we resist. Still we grasp. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze it tightly, the grains slip through your fingers. But if you hold your hand open, the sand simply rests there. Life is like this. When we cling, we suffer. When we let go, we find peace. Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment. We attach ourselves to people, believing they will always be the same. We attach ourselves to possessions, thinking they will bring happiness. We attach ourselves to our own ideas of how life should be. And when reality does not match our expectations, we feel pain. Think about a time you wanted something badly, a job, a relationship, a certain outcome. You believed that once you had it, you would be happy. And maybe, for a while, you were. But then something changed. Maybe the job was not as fulfilling as you imagined. Maybe the person you loved changed or left. Maybe what you once enjoyed no longer brought you joy. The happiness faded, and in its place came disappointment, frustration, or sadness. Why? Because nothing in life is permanent. People change. Situations evolve. The things we love today may not be the same tomorrow. This is not something to fear. It is something to understand. When we truly see the impermanent nature of everything, we learn to love without clinging, to enjoy without fearing loss, to live without resisting change. Letting go does not mean we stop caring. It does not mean we become cold or detached. It means we stop trying to control what is beyond our reach. It means we accept life as it comes, without grasping, without expecting. When we let go, we make space for peace. Think about a flowing river. If you try to hold on to the water, it slips through your hands. But if you simply sit by the river and watch, you can enjoy its beauty without needing to possess it. Life is the same. We do not need to own, control, or hold on to everything. We can simply experience. Some attachments are easy to see. We cling to material things, money, status, possessions. But the deeper attachments are the ones within. The need to be right. The need to be liked. The need for things to always go our way. These are the attachments that cause the most suffering. Have you ever been in an argument where you knew you were right? You held on to your opinions so tightly that it became more important than peace. But what if you let go? Not because you are wrong, but because your inner peace matters more than winning. Suddenly, the weight lifts. The struggle fades. This is the power of letting go. The same is true for emotions. When anger arises, we often feed it. We replay the situation in our minds, justifying our feelings, holding on to the pain. But what if we simply observed it? What if we let anger pass, like a cloud in the sky? Would it stay? Or would it dissolve, leaving behind only the clear, open sky? Letting go is not a one-time action. It is a practice. Every day, we are given opportunities to release something, a worry, a grudge, an expectation. Each time we let go, we lighten our load. We walk more freely. We breathe more easily. Think about a balloon. If you hold on to it tightly, it stays in your grasp. But if you release it, it rises, floating higher and higher. When we let go of attachment, we too rise. We become lighter, freer, more at peace. Look at nature. The tree does not cling to its leaves. When autumn comes, it lets them fall, knowing that new leaves will grow in time. The river does not hold on to its water. It flows freely, always moving, never stuck. There is wisdom in this. Nature teaches us the art of letting go. So what are you holding on to? What is weighing you down? What would happen if, just for a moment, you let it go? Not forever, just for now, just for this breath. Breathe in and out. Notice how light you feel, how free. This is the beginning of peace. Letting go is not losing. It is gaining something greater. Peace, freedom, a deeper connection to the present moment. It is the path to true happiness. And the best part? You do not have to wait. You can begin right now, observing thoughts without judgment. Sit down. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the air into your lungs. Feel it leave. Now, let your mind settle. Just like a still pond, let your thoughts float without disturbing the water. Do not chase them. Do not push them away. Simply watch. Most people believe they are their thoughts. If a thought says, I am not good enough, they believe it. If a thought whispers, I am a failure, they accept it as truth. But you are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. Imagine sitting by a river. Leaves drift by on the surface of the water. Some leaves are beautiful, some are old, some are torn. Do you chase after them? No. You sit, you watch, and you let them pass. This is how mindfulness works with thoughts. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to hold on to them. You simply need to see them as they are, just thoughts. Like clouds in the sky, they come and they go. No cloud stays forever. Sometimes, thoughts arrive like a storm. The mind fills with noise, worries, doubts, memories, fears. The more you resist them, the stronger they grow. But what happens when you stop resisting? What happens when you simply allow them to pass? The storm weakens. The sky clears. And in that stillness, you find peace. There is no need to judge your thoughts. A thought is not good or bad. It is only a thought. Yet, most people label them. A happy thought. This is good. A sad thought. This is bad. But a Zen mind does not attach labels. It sees the thought and lets it be. Just like a wave rises and falls in the ocean, a thought appears and disappears in the mind. The ocean does not cling to the wave. Why should you cling to a thought? Some thoughts will return again and again. I should have done this. What if this happens? I am not enough. These thoughts have visited you before, and they will visit you again. But they are not you. You are the observer. You are the sky. Thoughts are just passing birds, flying in and out. Watch them, but do not follow them. Right now, close your eyes. Listen to the sounds around you. Feel the sensation of your breath. And now, notice a thought. Any thought. Do not push it away. Do not chase it. Just notice it. See how it appears, stays for a moment, and then fades away. Another thought comes. It too will pass. Thoughts only have power when you believe them. A fearful thought can only control you if you listen to its story. A negative thought can only make you sad if you hold on to it. But what happens when you let go? The thought loses its grip. It becomes like a cloud drifting in the wind. Buddha once said, Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. But you do not need to fight them. You only need to see them clearly. And when you see them for what they are, just passing ripples in the mind, you are free. The mistake most people make is thinking they must stop thoughts to find peace. But the goal is not to empty the mind. The goal is to understand the mind, to watch without getting caught, to see thoughts without becoming them, to let them come and go, like the waves, like the wind, like the drifting leaves. Imagine a room with two doors. A thought enters through one door. You watch it walk across the room. Then it leaves through the other door. You do not stop it. You do not lock the door. You do not invite it to stay. You only observe. There will be days when thoughts feel heavy, when the mind pulls you into stories of the past or worries about the future. On those days, remember, come back to the breath. The breath is your anchor. It is always here, in the present. When thoughts feel overwhelming, breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Each breath reminds you, I am here. I am now. I am not my thoughts. In time, you will notice a change. Thoughts that once controlled you will lose their power. Worries that once filled your mind will feel lighter. Instead of getting lost in thought, you will simply watch. You will witness the movement of the mind without being carried away. And in that watching, in that quiet space between thoughts, you will discover something rare, something precious, the stillness within, the peace that has always been there, the freedom of simply being, the body and mind connection. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in and out. Now, feel your body. Feel the weight of it, the way it rests in this moment. Notice your hands, your feet, the way your chest rises and falls with each breath. This body is yours. It has carried you through life, through every joy, every hardship, every quiet moment. But tell me, how often do you truly listen to it? Most people go through life disconnected from their own bodies. We live in our heads, trapped in endless thoughts, running from one task to the next. We think about the past, we worry about the future, but we forget to be where we are. And where are we? Right here, in this body, in this breath, in this very moment. The body and mind are not two separate things. They are one. When the body is tense, the mind is tense. When the mind is restless, the body feels heavy. But when we bring awareness to both, when we allow the mind to meet the body with kindness, something changes. We begin to feel lighter, more at peace, more alive. Have you ever noticed how emotions feel in the body? When you are anxious, your chest tightens. When you are angry, your muscles tense. When you are sad, your whole body feels heavy. Your emotions don't just exist in the mind. They live in your body too. This is why mindfulness is so powerful. When we learn to observe our body, we can understand our mind. Right now, take a moment to scan your body. Start from your head, move down to your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your stomach, your legs, all the way to your feet. Where do you feel tension? Where do you feel lightness? No need to judge, just notice. This is the practice of awareness. Buddhism teaches that the body is a doorway to the present moment. The Buddha himself spoke of using the body as a foundation for mindfulness. In meditation, monks are taught to observe every sensation, the warmth of the sun, the coolness of the wind, the feeling of their feet touching the ground. By doing this, they train their minds to be present, to be free. But you don't have to be a monk to practice this. You can do it right now, wherever you are. When you walk, feel your steps. When you eat, taste your food. When you breathe, feel the air entering and leaving your lungs. Every moment is an opportunity to come back to the body, to come back to yourself. Many of us treat our bodies as if they are separate from us, as if they are just machines carrying us through life. We ignore their signals, we push them beyond their limits. We criticize them for not looking a certain way. But mindfulness teaches us something different. It teaches us to care for the body, to respect it, to listen to it. If you are tired, rest. If you are hungry, eat with presence. If you feel tension, breathe into it. The body is always speaking to you, but are you listening? When you bring awareness to your body, you build a deep connection with yourself. You start to feel what your body needs, not what the mind constantly demands. This is why mindful movement is such a powerful practice. Walking meditation, yoga, even simple stretching, all of these are ways to unite the body and mind. When you move with awareness, you are not just exercising the body, you are calming the mind. You are returning to yourself, One step, one breath at a time. In Buddhism, it is said that the body is impermanent. It changes, it ages, it feels pleasure, it feels pain. But through mindfulness, we learn not to cling to these changes. We simply observe. We experience life as it is, without resistance. This is freedom. Think of a river. The water is always moving, always flowing. Your body is the same. It is never still. The breath comes and goes. Sensations rise and fade. This moment is here, and then it passes. When we accept this truth, we stop fighting against life. We start living it. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, come back to your body. Feel your breath. Feel the ground beneath you. Remind yourself, I am here. I am present. I am alive. Because in the end, mindfulness is not about escaping reality. It is about embracing it, fully and completely. And right now, in this very moment, you are exactly where you need to be. Compassion and loving kindness, meditation. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a small candle in the darkness. At first, its glow is faint, just enough to warm your hands. But as you watch, the flame grows, spreading its light outward, filling the entire space with warmth. This is what compassion feels like. It begins as a small spark within you, but with time and practice, it expands, first toward yourself, then to those around you, and finally to the entire world. Many people think of mindfulness as a way to calm the mind, to find inner peace. But true mindfulness goes beyond stillness. It teaches us to open our hearts. When we cultivate loving kindness, what Buddhism calls metta, we don't just sit in silence. We radiate warmth. We transform ourselves from within. We soften the sharp edges of our thoughts, dissolve resentment, and replace judgment with understanding. Have you ever looked at someone and felt a sudden wave of kindness? Maybe it was a stranger helping an elderly person cross the street, or a child offering their last piece of candy to a friend. In those moments, your heart expands, even if only for a second. This is the natural state of the heart, open, caring, and full of love. But somewhere along the way, life hardens us. We build walls to protect ourselves. We carry past wounds, grudges, and fears. Loving-kindness meditation is the practice of breaking down those walls, one breath at a time. Now, take a deep breath in. Imagine someone you love, someone who makes you feel safe and warm. It could be a family member, a close friend, even a pet. Picture their face, their smile. Feel the warmth of their presence. Now, silently repeat these words in your mind. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering. May you live with ease. Let these words settle into your heart. At first, it might feel strange. We are not used to offering kindness so deliberately. But as you repeat these phrases, something shifts. The heart begins to soften. You feel a quiet joy, a gentle lightness in your chest. And here's where the magic happens. Once this feeling takes root, you can begin to extend it outward. Think of someone neutral, perhaps a colleague or a neighbor. You don't feel particularly close to them, but you don't hold any negative feelings either. Now, offer them the same wish. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering. Watch how your heart responds. And now, the real challenge. Picture someone you struggle with, someone who has hurt you, or someone you find difficult to be around. Your instinct might be to resist. Your mind might say, why should I wish them happiness? But here is the truth. Holding on to anger does not protect you. It only traps you. When we hold on to resentment, it is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Letting go is not about excusing their actions. It is about freeing yourself. So, take another breath. Soften your heart, just a little, and offer the same words. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering. You don't have to force it. You don't have to believe it fully yet. Just plant the seed. Buddhism teaches that compassion is not selective. It does not belong to some and not to others. It is like the sun. It shines on all beings, without discrimination. When we cultivate loving kindness, we are training ourselves to love without conditions, to care without expectations. This does not mean we allow harm or let people walk over us. It means we learn to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. Imagine a tree. A person can come and rest in its shade, or they can cut it down for wood. The tree does not withhold its shade out of anger, nor does it resent the person who harms it. It simply is. This is the nature of true compassion. It gives freely, not because it expects something in return, but because that is its essence. In your daily life, you will have moments where anger rises, where frustration takes over. Maybe someone cuts you off in traffic. Maybe a friend betrays your trust. In those moments, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, can I respond with kindness instead? It doesn't mean you have to agree with their actions. It simply means you choose peace over suffering. Loving kindness is not just about meditation. It is a way of living. When you hold the door open for a stranger, when you smile at someone who looks tired, when you listen, truly listen, to another person's pain, you are practicing metta. It is not in grand gestures, but in small, quiet acts that compassion takes root. And here is the most important part. Do not forget yourself. We are often our own harshest critics. We carry guilt, self-doubt, and regret. But mindfulness teaches us that we, too, deserve kindness. So, place a hand over your heart. Feel its rhythm, steady and strong. Then whisper to yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering. Loving kindness is a journey, not a destination. Some days, it will feel effortless. Other days, it will feel impossible. That is okay. The important thing is to keep practicing, to keep choosing love over fear, over anger, over resentment. Each time you do, you are not only changing yourself, you are changing the world. So, as you go about your day, remember this. You have the power to bring warmth into this world, even in the smallest of ways. A kind word, a patient moment, a gentle heart. Let your light shine, overcoming stress and anxiety through mindfulness. Sit down, my friend. Take a breath. Feel the air flowing in, filling your lungs. Hold it for a moment, and now let it go. Slowly. Do you feel the tension releasing, even just a little? That is the power of mindfulness. That is the beginning of freedom from stress. Life is heavy, isn't it? The weight of expectations, the endless worries about the future, the regrets that refuse to leave the past. It feels like a storm inside your mind, always swirling, never resting. Stress and anxiety become our constant companions, whispering fears, feeding our doubts. But tell me, have you ever asked yourself, do I really have to live this way? The mind is like a wild horse. It runs in every direction, untamed, uncontrolled. It gallops toward worries, chases after desires, gets lost in fears. But a wise rider does not fight the horse. A wise rider understands it, watches its movements, and slowly, patiently, guides it with gentle hands. This is what mindfulness does for your mind. It does not force stress away. It does not fight anxiety. It simply teaches you to sit with them, understand them, and in doing so, dissolve their power over you. Imagine you are standing in a river. The water is rushing past, strong and relentless. These waters are your thoughts, your emotions, your fears. If you try to stop the river with your hands, you will only exhaust yourself. But what if you simply step back and watch? The river continues to flow, but you are no longer caught in its current. This is mindfulness. This is the key to peace. Most of us do not realize this. We are not our thoughts. We are not our stress. We are not our anxiety. These are just passing clouds in the sky of our mind. But we make the mistake of holding on to them, believing every thought, every worry, every fear is real, solid, permanent. It is not. Nothing is. Mindfulness helps us see this truth. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a mountain. Strong, steady, unmoving. No matter how strong the winds blow, how heavy the rain falls, the mountain remains. Now, think of your stress, your worries. They are like the weather, constantly changing, never staying the same. But you are the mountain. You are not the storm. You are not the rain. You are not the wind. You are something deeper, something more stable. When you begin to see this, anxiety loses its grip on you. Many people believe that mindfulness is about silencing the mind, making it empty, perfectly still. This is not true. The mind will always create thoughts, just as the heart will always beat. The secret is not in stopping thoughts, but in changing your relationship with them. Instead of believing every thought, reacting to every worry, you simply notice them. Like watching leaves floating down a stream, you let them come and you let them go. Stress is often born from the stories we tell ourselves. What if I fail? What if something bad happens? What if I am not good enough? These are just words in the mind, just sounds in your head. They are not truth. They are not reality. Mindfulness teaches us to question these stories, to see them for what they are, just passing thoughts, without power, unless we give them power. Anxiety lives in the future. It is always about what might happen, what could go wrong. But where is the future? Can you touch it? Can you hold it? No, it exists only in the mind. The only real moment is now. This breath, this sensation, this present experience. When you learn to anchor yourself in now, anxiety loses its roots. It cannot survive in the present moment. Think of a candle in the wind. If the wind is strong, the flame flickers, struggles, sometimes even goes out. This is what happens when we live in stress, always caught in the storms of the mind. But when we protect the flame, when we create stillness around it, it burns steady, unwavering. Your inner peace is the same. When you create space through mindfulness, when you stop feeding every worry, your peace becomes strong, untouchable. There will always be challenges. There will always be moments of stress. This is life. But mindfulness does not promise a life without storms. It promises you the ability to stand strong in the middle of them, to breathe, to be aware, to remain unmoved. A monk once said, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Life will bring difficulties, but how much we suffer from them, that is our choice." Stress comes from resistance, from fighting reality. But when we accept, when we breathe, when we observe rather than resist, suffering dissolves. So, my friend, I invite you now to take another deep breath. Feel the air, cool as it enters, warm as it leaves. Notice the rhythm, the sensation, the simple act of breathing. In this moment, there is nothing to fix, nothing to change, nothing to fear. Just this breath, just this moment. And in this moment, you are free. Walking meditation and everyday awareness. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You are walking down a quiet path, the sun gently warming your skin, a soft breeze touching your face. With each step, you feel the earth beneath you, solid and steady. You hear the rustling of leaves, the distant sound of a bird calling, the rhythm of your own breath moving in and out. For once, you are not thinking about the past or planning for the future. You are just here, walking, breathing, being. This is mindfulness in motion. This is walking meditation. Many people believe meditation only happens when you sit still, cross-legged, in complete silence. But that is not true. Meditation is not about the position of your body. It is about the state of your mind. In fact, some of the greatest Zen masters spent more time meditating while walking than they did while sitting. Walking meditation is a way to bring mindfulness into movement, a way to transform an ordinary activity into something deeply calming and healing. Think about how you usually walk. Do you rush from one place to another, lost in thought, barely noticing the world around you? Do you walk while staring at your phone, replying to messages, or thinking about your next task? Most of us do. We walk every day, but we are rarely present for it. Our bodies move, but our minds are elsewhere. Walking meditation changes that. It brings you back to the present moment, back to yourself. You don't have to go to a special place. You don't need a quiet garden or a temple. You can practice mindfulness while walking anywhere, on the street, in a park, even inside your own home. The key is to walk slowly, deliberately, and with full awareness. Imagine taking a single step. Feel your foot lifting off the ground. Notice how your weight shifts as you move forward. Then, as your foot touches down again, feel the connection between you and the earth. Step by step, breath by breath, you walk, not to get somewhere, but simply to walk. There is nowhere to go, nothing to achieve. Just this moment, just this step. At first, it might feel strange. Your mind may wander, asking, "Why am I walking so slowly? What's the point of this?" That is natural. The mind always wants to be busy, always looking for something to do. But gently, without force, bring your attention back to your steps. Let the rhythm of walking become your meditation. With time, you will begin to notice something, peace. A deep, quiet peace growing inside you, step by step. One Zen story tells of a young monk who asked his master, "What is the path to enlightenment?" The master simply said, "Walk." Confused, the monk asked again, "But what must I do?" The master smiled and replied, "Just walk." The monk thought for a moment and then asked, "But what will I find?" The master answered, "If you walk mindfully, you will find yourself." Mindfulness is not just about walking meditation. It is about bringing awareness into every part of your life. Washing dishes, drinking tea, listening to someone speak. Each moment is an opportunity to be fully present. The problem is, we are rarely here. When we eat, we think about work. When we work, we think about rest. When we rest, we think about what we must do next. And so, we are always chasing something, never truly living. But when you bring mindfulness into everyday activities, everything changes. A simple meal becomes an experience. A short walk becomes a meditation. Even mundane tasks, like folding laundry or washing your hands, become moments of peace. Life slows down. Your mind quiets. You start to see beauty in the simplest things. The way sunlight filters through a window, the sound of rain tapping against the roof, the feeling of your own breath moving in and out. In Buddhism, there is a saying, when walking, walk. When eating, eat. This means, be where you are. Do what you are doing. If you are walking, just walk. If you are drinking tea, just drink tea. It sounds simple, yet it is one of the most powerful teachings. Because when you are fully present, even the most ordinary moment becomes extraordinary. Many people search for peace outside of themselves. They travel, they chase success, they seek distractions, always hoping to find happiness somewhere else. But peace is not found in the future. It is not hidden in some faraway place. It is here, in this moment, in this breath, in this step. One of the greatest Zen masters, Thich Nhat Hanh, often taught that when we walk, we should imagine kissing the earth with our feet. Every step is a gentle touch, a moment of gratitude for this life, for this world. With each step, we remind ourselves, we are alive, we are here, and that is enough. So, the next time you walk, slow down. Feel the earth beneath you. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice the air moving through your lungs. Let go of all thoughts of where you need to be, and simply be where you are. Walk not to arrive, but to experience each step fully. Because in the end, the journey is not about reaching a destination. The journey itself is the destination. Deepening your meditation practice. Sit down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel the air entering your body, filling you with life. Feel it leaving, carrying away tension, worry, and noise. Now, ask yourself, have you truly been present on this journey? Have you felt the stillness beneath the chaos, the silence within the sound? Have you noticed the way your mind shifts, the way your breath guides you back to this moment? Mindfulness is not something you master overnight. It is not a race, not a goal to be reached. It is a path, and like any path, the more you walk it, the more familiar it becomes. In the beginning, you learn to sit, to breathe, to observe. You begin to notice thoughts, emotions, and sensations. But as time passes, something deeper happens. The practice starts to live inside you. It no longer feels like something you do. It becomes a part of who you are. There was once a student who asked a Zen master, "How do I know when I have mastered meditation?" The master smiled and replied, "When you no longer ask that question." True mindfulness is not about measuring progress. It is about dissolving the need to measure at all. You sit, you breathe, you observe, not to reach a destination, but simply to be with what is. And in that space, you discover something profound. You are not your thoughts. You are not your worries. You are not the endless noise of the mind. Beneath all of it, there is something still, something untouched by the chaos of life. But to reach that place, you must be willing to go deeper. You must let go of the idea that meditation should feel a certain way. Sometimes, your mind will be restless. Sometimes, you will feel peace. Both are part of the practice. The goal is not to silence the mind, but to make peace with whatever arises. When a thought appears, you do not chase it. When an emotion surfaces, you do not push it away. You simply watch, like a mountain watching the passing clouds. Have you ever watched a candle burn? The flame does not rush. It does not fight the wind. It simply flickers, dances, and continues to burn. This is the way of deep meditation. You do not resist. You do not force. You simply allow. You sit in the fire of your own presence and let it reveal what is true. At this stage of your journey, meditation is no longer just something you do on a cushion. It follows you into your life. You find yourself pausing before reacting. You notice the subtle tension in your shoulders and let it go. You become aware of the way you hold on to thoughts, the way you resist certain feelings. And with that awareness comes freedom. There is a story of a monk who carried a heavy sack of rice on his back. He walked for miles, feeling the weight pressing down on him. Then, at last, he reached his destination. He placed the sack on the ground, stood up straight, and laughed. "Ah," he said, "this is what letting go feels like." Meditation is not about escaping life. It is about seeing life clearly, without the weight of unnecessary suffering. You begin to understand that most of your pain does not come from the world, but from your resistance to it. A thought appears, and you grasp it. A feeling arises, and you push it away. In doing so, you create tension. But when you simply observe, without attachment, something shifts. The thought passes. The emotion fades. The weight disappears. Do you remember when you first started this journey? The way your mind felt like a wild river, rushing in every direction? Now, perhaps, you have noticed moments of stillness between the waves. Perhaps, you have seen glimpses of the calm beneath the surface. This is not an accident. This is the result of your practice, your patience, your willingness to sit with yourself, even when it is uncomfortable. But the path does not end here. There is always more to see, more to experience, more to let go of. Even the greatest masters continue to practice, not because they need to, but because meditation is life itself. It is the breath, the heartbeat, the moment between thoughts. It is the space where everything is exactly as it should be. So now, as you sit here, take another breath. Feel the air moving in and out. Feel the weight of your body resting on the ground. Feel the life within you, steady and unshaken. You are here. You are present. And in this moment, nothing is missing. Keep walking this path, not with the hope of reaching the end, but with the joy of every step. Conclusion and final guided meditation. Sit down. Take a breath. Feel this moment. You have come a long way. From the first step into mindfulness, through learning awareness, breath, compassion, and stillness, you are now here. Right here. And this moment, this exact moment, is all that matters. Think back to when we started. Your mind may have been restless, jumping from thought to thought, tangled in worries, distractions, and endless noise. But now, can you feel the difference? There is a space within you that wasn't so clear before, a quiet space where you can simply be. This space has always been here, waiting for you to notice it. And now you have. The journey of mindfulness is not about reaching a final destination. There is no finish line. It is a path that you walk every day, every moment, with every breath. The more you practice, the more you awaken to life. You begin to see the world as it is, without filters, without resistance. There is peace in that. There is freedom. Right now, just breathe. Don't force it. Let it be natural. Inhale, feel the air fill your lungs. Exhale, let go of tension, let go of thoughts, let go of effort. This is mindfulness, simply being here, aware of the breath, aware of the body, aware of life itself. Over the course of this journey, we have explored the ancient wisdom of Buddhism. We have learned how mindfulness is the heart of true awareness, how the present moment is the only reality, how the breath is our anchor, and how letting go brings peace. We have seen how thoughts come and go, like clouds in the sky, and how we do not have to hold on to them. We have practiced observing without judgment, feeling without resistance, and existing without struggle. But here is the truth. Mindfulness is not just something you do in meditation. It is not only for quiet rooms, closed eyes, or special moments. Mindfulness is for everything. It is for the way you wake up in the morning, the way you eat your food, the way you listen to others, and the way you walk through the world. Every single moment is an opportunity to be present. Every action is a chance to live with awareness. Think of the most ordinary things you do: washing your hands, drinking water, tying your shoes. These moments seem small, but they are life itself. If you are mindful, even the smallest things become extraordinary. You feel the water as it runs over your hands. You taste the water as it touches your tongue. You notice the softness of your shoelaces between your fingers. Nothing is boring anymore. Nothing is empty. Everything is full of life. Now, close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath again. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves come in. The waves go out. They are not in a hurry. They do not try to control where they go. They simply move with the rhythm of nature. This is mindfulness. This is life. You are like the ocean, not separate from it, but part of its flow. As you continue your practice beyond this moment, remember this. There will be days when your mind feels restless. There will be times when you forget to be mindful. That is okay. Do not judge yourself. Do not think you have failed. Simply return. Again and again, return. To your breath. To the present. To this moment. That is all that matters. And as we come to the end of this journey together, I want to ask you something. How do you feel right now? Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Right now. Notice your body. Notice your breath. Notice the stillness within you. This feeling, this calm, this awareness is always here, waiting for you. Before we part, I have one last request. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. If you have found value in this journey, if even one moment of this has brought you peace, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps us grow, and it helps bring mindfulness to more people who need it. And I would love to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What did you feel in this journey? What changed for you? Your words may inspire someone else to begin their path to mindfulness. This is not the end. It is only the beginning. Take this practice with you. Bring mindfulness into every breath, every step, every moment. Let it become your way of life. And remember, true peace is not something you find outside. It has been within you all along. Now, take one last deep breath with me. Inhale, exhale, let go. You are here. You are present. You are free.